PDR Tool Time, your industry podcast, tools, reviews, and stories. Welcome to another episode of PDR Tool Time. I'm your host, Daniel Grom, with Vince D'Alessandro and John Renstrom. And with our special guest today, we got A-1. We got Maria and John. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties getting them on tonight, but we persevered and we did it. Right on.
Vince and I blame Daniel.
Yeah, we blame Daniel.
It's all my fault, of course.
The old man.
So, I just want to say that this episode is brought to you by Magnatech Mat, Mobile Tech RX, and Hog Glue, and of course, Edgy Tools. Get your edgies on.
Yep, there is a discount code on our website for 15% off. What is it?
That's how you guys can support us. If you go to that link and you buy through that link, it supports us a little bit, and every little bit helps. So we appreciate you guys for doing that.
Now, we've had Maria and John on once before, and we want to thank them for coming on again. It's always good seeing you guys. We see Maria a little bit more than John on the internet, showing off all the new tools that are out there. And I know for myself, I really appreciate that.
Seeing Maria more than me.
Yeah. Well, yes and yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes to the new tools out, and yes, seeing Maria. And I just love the stance that you guys have now with your company and showing some of the inner workings, and you get to sneak peek in the background and see some of the tool racks with all the tools up there. It's really, I think it's great. I enjoy it.
In the raw form.
Yes.
Thank you. Good. Glad you like it.
Yeah. So we have a few minutes with you guys. We wanted to talk about the marriage that you guys have with Stanliner Tools going on, and touch on another one later on. But how did that come about with Thomas and Kaz?
I believe we first met them at MTE 2 years ago, and they were interested in somebody building that line. And of course, a very unique. I don't think there's any more unique tools out there than what they've got.
Yeah.
And so, they approached us, and it was something that we thought we could do, and we have, and it's been a good relationship for us.
Yeah, I was just using their tools today. I'm fortunate enough to have a technician that buys every single tool, and I'm mentoring him right now. So he's bought pretty much the whole line. Every time a new one comes out, he's buying them. So I get to try them without having to purchase them just yet to make sure.
That's awesome. Lucky you.
Yeah, so I've got A1's.
Yeah.
I've got A1's website up on your Stanliner section here, and you guys carry a lot of Stanliner tools.
We do.
And now, are you guys continuously adding to this list? I mean, you got 4 pages of Stanliner tools on the website, which,
right.
For those of you at home with your computer there, pdrtool.com gets you to A1's website.
Yeah, so we collaborate with Thomas, and we're trying to add something every month, 6 weeks, something like that. Sometimes adding one tool is really adding 2 or 3 because we're doing the same tool in a different length or something of that nature. But yeah, he's always adding to that, and we've seen a fuller collection than what we carry that they brought to MTE, and so we're slowly getting to the full collection, we hope.
I think nice. I think it's a good connection because when Stanliner was coming to MTE a few years ago, we're like, well, how do you use the tools? That was the big question. How are the applications for them? And that's like, if I want to order them, I have to order them from Lithuania, and who knows? We're dealing with a country that's really far away from the United States.
If like my TDN cart, just getting that shipped over got stuck in customs.
So, yeah. So I think, the marriage between you two companies, making them here locally, and everyone knows the quality of A1 is top notch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank you. It's interesting that some of those pieces are so unique. I think we sell a certain number of them, just guys seeing them saying, how would you use this thing? You know what? I think we're going to buy it just to figure it out. And it's been interesting to see people do that, be willing to spend the money on the basis that I may not know how to use it right now, but I'm going to figure out how to use it.
Yeah, and that is a big deal. I mean, it wasn't until I was with Kaz at MTE, and he had the killer whale, and he was showing me how to use it, and then he gave me the tool, and I started using it. He goes, no, that's too rough. And then he grabbed my hands and he started showing me, and it was such a gentle movement, and I couldn't believe the way the metal moved. I was like, my mind was blown on how the tool actually worked. And that's when everything kind of opened up for me. And I had bought 2 tools from him the previous year, and I'm now just starting to use those tools properly.
Right.
Because I understood the philosophy just from using that one tool of how he's making things work. Because he's a small guy. I think he utilizes the tool in all of its leverage to make it work for him, not the muscle.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think people have opened their minds. A lot of people that have bought these tools are really pretty proficient PDR technicians, and they say, "Hey, you know what? There's more than one way to skin a cat. I'm going to open my mind a little bit and try something different." And certainly, he does have a different technique than what is conventional, I think, to most people's way of thinking.
Yeah.
We did get some video, I think, of Mike maybe. Kaz working with him in our booth at MTE last year, and kind of reminded me of that scene out of Ghost, where Patrick Swayze and they were, it was sweet.
It was getting intimate.
That's gonna be stuck in my head for the rest of the night.
there was a tender moment. Moment between the two.
Did the music play?
Maria did an overdub, and it's real nice.
In slow motion.
Yeah.
Slow mo.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Maria, I've got to give you hats off, because I bought 2 tools just from watching your videos of showing us new Stanliner tools. I bought I think it's called the finger, and then I just bought that tool that has it's got kind of a wheel at the end of it. It's like a plastic.
Yes, the Stanliner interchangeable tip fender tool. Yes.
Yeah, and I used it today. It freaking works great.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. If you got a body line on that front fender, you can roll out a whole body line, and it brings it back in 2 seconds. I mean, it was a $350 job today. I was done in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow, that is really awesome. And that's the thing about these tools, is that they really are faster, cleaner. And, Thomas would say, people just need to get in there and try it. Just, be creative, use it your way, make it work for you. And looks like you figured that out, Daniel. Good for you.
I had the same thing.
1/2-inch diameter, 32 inches long.
Yeah. I was using.
I thought it was going to be more expensive. Sorry to cut you off there, Vince.
Yeah, no problem.
I've got their website up. I'm checking it out. It's $165 for this interchange. I mean, for a Stanliner tool,
it's so nice.
Now they're going to make me feel bad that I'm getting out of the dim repair business.
Well, I think that's what we could count on with A1 is good quality and affordable prices of their tools.
Thank you. We really do try. Yeah, absolutely.
I still have tools from when I started 24 years ago from A1.
So do I.
Yeah.
I did. Well, mine's only like 14 years, Just a year.
And the thing is, I still use them.
Right.
Yes.
And it's not surprising, I guess, that we hear that a lot. I guess we've lost the surprise of it, because we hear it a lot that people going back to when they started 20 years ago, 18 years, whatever it may be. They're still using some of those same tools that we put out. So that it's not like we have an exclusive on making quality tools, because there are other people that really do well, and we have a lot of respect for some of the other people out there in the industry. But we're trying to do it right, and most of the time I think we succeed in that.
Right. Well, that's a good example of you guys are doing it right, because you're partnering up with people for new stuff. And, there's a couple other companies out there that aren't really producing any new things. And I'm afraid that they're going to go by the wayside if they don't start inventing some new things.
Well, I'm sure they answer their phones just like we do, and they answer some of the same questions that we do. And the number one question that we get and have for years is, what do you got new? What do you got coming out? I mean, that's kind of the basis of the show tonight. What's coming up? And so guys are always looking for new stuff. And again, we don't have any exclusivity on good ideas. And so I think we've opened our mind a little bit to saying, hey, guys, technicians, show us what you got. And we would love to partner with people that have a unique idea, something that would complement our tool line. And if there's any way we can build it efficiently and with quality, and it has a place in the market, then we would love to have that opportunity. I'm
glad you touched on that, John, because that was a rant that we did a couple weeks ago on the podcast, where it's really, I know for myself, I made a tool, I've manufactured it, I'm distributing it, I'm selling it. It's hard. It is a hard thing to do. And when you're a PDR technician, you come up with a great idea, and then you're trying to sell it yourself, it's very difficult. It's almost, if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't do it, because I make more money fixing dents than I do, manufacturing the Magnatech mat and selling it. So, and we had this topic a couple weeks ago where we were talking about, these guys that have great ideas, where do they go? And really, you should go to, the tool companies and approach them. And how does that work with you guys? Like, because royalties, I would be fine if I came up with something and just be like, you know what, give me some royalties off of it. You guys make it, you guys sell it, you do all the hard work. I'll just take the glory.
Right. And we have different agreements. There are some people that have, passed along ideas. They expect nothing in return. They really, have really spent nothing more than maybe 5 minutes explaining something that they wanted to do or would like to see the industry enjoy. Yeah. And so, maybe we give them a free supply of that particular item or something like that as a thank you or whatever it may be. And then, of course, there are others that, actually enjoy an income stream from the relationship that we have with them. So it kind of depends on how much they're bringing to the table.
Sure.
And we're open to various arrangements. Sometimes we end up trading product or this or the other as opposed to actually money. But there are some income streams that go back and forth.
Yeah, and that's the thing that a lot of technicians need to realize too. It's not like you're going to retire off of inventing a new tool, unless it's very rare that you hit it out of the ballpark. Of course, there's a James Lee that hit it out of the ballpark. Todd Zimmerman knocked it out of the ballpark. Those are.
But even those guys keep innovating and have to keep moving forward.
They do, sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But here we are talking about moving forward. Now I'm going to give a shout out and take a couple of steps back in the A1 catalog here. The TS1 light fixture got the tire hugger base, 3-inch casters. This light base was built like a tank. I bought this light from you guys, I think right after you released it. And then when everything went to LED, I put it aside, and actually I used it in my private garage at my house for just doing miscellaneous jobs. But then I bought the new full-size Stucky light head with the battery pack that's integrated into it. And the number one thing that people talked about was it was heavy. It was tipping over the really lightweight aluminum bases. I put this thing on my old TS1 base. That is the single greatest light fixture. I will go out of my way just to go grab that one and move it over. It's lighter than any of the other combinations with a 12-volt battery attached, a wheelchair battery. It rolls smoother. I have no auxiliary weights on it. It holds the Stucky light head perfectly. It reaches everywhere. It is now like the single greatest light fixture I own. Well, I love that TS1.
Yeah, that was really a good product, and for us at the time, and the TS and Terry Siegel's the one that kind of brought that to us, and there's again an example of a relationship with a technician that was profitable to us, somebody that brought us an idea. But yeah, it is a heavy built stand, and not ironically, we're working with Carl to put his hail light on that particular stand. And so we're hoping to roll that out at World Cup or MTE. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you
yes.
go.
I sent that photo to Carl right after I put it together because everybody was complaining that you had to weight the bases down. And I'm like, I don't have to weight my base down. I have the old A-1 stand. Yeah. And guys, if you haven't seen this TS1 stand, if you're working down low on a Honda, you just pick it up like a jack with this stand. You just pick up one half of the car. It's like a little mini hoist as well. It is truly a tank of a light stand. It holds the weight. There's zero flex, zero bounce. It's a phenomenal heavy weight.
Okay, calm down, John. You're not going to get a check or anything in the mail. Okay.
Well, and then it ties in with exactly what we were talking about. See, one of the greatest tools of all time, right here.
Oh, I love it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So moving on, what one of the other partnerships you have is with Anson and the Tequila Tools.
Yeah.
And I just got some yesterday that you guys are making, the ratchet handle window tools, and loving it. Those are fantastic.
Yeah, I think they just put those on their site maybe today. At least maybe we just realized that they were on their site today. They haven't had them very long. And so, yeah, that's a really neat set. And it's been a great relationship with Craig and Christina. Craig has brought some great ideas. And, of course, they're in front of a lot of technicians, on a regular basis, talking to a lot of people. And Craig is of course, he did dents himself and has a lot of good relationships. He's big on testing stuff, and I appreciate that. So we'll make some things that are of his brainchild, and then he'll take that and share it with 3 or 4 technicians, get some feedback, and we'll tweak it here or there. And, eventually we'll come out with the actual production. And so, they've got a new door set with some sharp tip ratchet handles, and they're going to be nice. They've got some other stuff. We just sent them yesterday that they don't even have yet, that are going to be some ratchet handle tools as well that they'll probably be rolling out MTE or World Cup or something like that. So, cool. Yeah, it's been a great relationship, and really enjoy working with both of them.
Yeah, I think they had to put it up on the site today because Daniel likes to, as soon as he gets something, he gets so excited.
Yes, I saw that.
He starts taking pictures immediately and puts them up on there. And then he calls me afterwards. Was I supposed to put those up yet?
I didn't do that this time. I called you first. So
yeah.
Don't even go there.
Well, they actually had them on the
first,
van.
and I told him, and I posted this, and he says yes. And then I posted, and he calls me back, and why did you post that? I go, just asked you. And it went crazy, man. I mean, everybody, and then Christine was like, "Oh, I don't have it up on the website yet." Oh, shoot.
Yeah, but it was actually when I was in Colorado last week at Front Range for their open house. They actually Biggs was out there with the van, and he had them on the van, and he was selling them right then and there. So that's why I gave the green light to Daniel. But Daniel does like to beat me to the punch. I'm the one that gets the tools, and I need to try them and believe in them before I talk about them. And Daniel's just like the kid in the candy store. He's like, I got new tools. Look what I got.
This first set of tequila hand tools are great. I mean, they saved my bacon on the new Super Duties. The 732nd
Yes.
And I quote this all the time. These things will snake all the way to the windshield above that brace on the new Super Duties with that super thick aluminum roof. They have the power to push out the nastiest of dents on there. They're the ideal Super Duty roof tool.
Yeah. Craig shared a story with me. It's been several weeks ago. And I think it was Biggs, and somebody had bought the Tequila hand tool set. And I was like, I don't know. And I don't know. I think, they called Biggs and said, hey, I think maybe I want to exchange these for something else. So he said, okay, no problem. I'll come back tomorrow and pick them up. And so that afternoon, whoever this technician was, used the tools again and I guess fixed some dents that he just had no other way of fixing other than with this hand tool set. And so Biggs got back over there, and the guy said, well, I no longer want to trade them in. In fact, I want to buy another set. So, and we've heard the same thing that, hey, these tools will do some things that others won't. So it's been a great set.
I think what some technicians don't realize is they are bendable. Even though they have a nice bend to them and a nice flow to them already, you can straighten them out if you need to.
And that's what I've heard is some guys are complaining a little bit about the kick on them, and the only time they're feeling that is when you're in a wide open spot and you're trying to twist the tool. And what I told them was stop twisting the tool.
Yeah,
these things have enough strength. Work your hand in a forward back motion.
Mm-hmm.
With that sharp tip, the kick you won't feel that at all, and you'll still push out the dent, but you'll actually push it out faster. So when you're in that tight wedge spot, twisting's fine, but these you can do in a forward back motion.
So it's more of a pry twist, right? Because I know
I don't even add the twist. I just do the pry.
The pry, yeah, they are strong and remarkably strong. I don't know where you're getting your stock from, John, but that 730 seconds is pretty stiff for being 730 seconds.
Yeah, some special tariff-free steel that we got.
Buy it up before the tariffs go up.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, John: would we ever see a Quicksilver handle ratcheting? Because I love your Quicksilver handle, and I want that handle on a ratcheting type of tool. Would that ever happen?
Not to put you on the spot or anything.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of mechanism that is built into a ratchet handle that I just don't know that you're going to get into the Quicksilver handle. I just don't think it has the body to accept what mechanism has to go inside the handle, at least without some type of redesign that's going to add more bulk to the handle.
Okay, then do that. Redesign it.
We'll get right on it.
Tell me about it, John.
There is another handle though that's going to be introduced not too far out. I think maybe MT will see it.
Preview.
Ooh,
and
exclusive here.
It's ratcheting, and so very ergonomic, and we're happy that we're going to be building the actual tool part of that to attach to that. And the shafts will actually come off of the handle. So the technician may only have 3 or 4 handles, but it will fit as many tools as he wants to buy. So
that's
nice.
great.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
No, that's good because, most technicians nowadays, not most, but I would say 90% have a mixed bag of tools. And, we have our A1s, we have our Ultras, we have our, Pro PDR solutions. We have mixed bags. And, I know for myself, I have gone and cut off a lot of handles because I'm comfortable with what Steve at Ultra had been doing, but it's not 100% comfortable either. So, but it's a better option than what's out there right now. And certain tools, you want that fixed handle, you want that A-1 handle, or you want that Pro PDR Solutions handle, because that's how it feels better in your hand. And I think that's the unique thing about our trade, is that there, like you said, John, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's more than one tool out there for each technician. One guy might grab one tool, and the other guy might grab another, and the same result is going to be done at the end.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, honestly, if I could change my handles to Quicksilver on all my hand tools, I would, because that, by my opinion, by far for a hand tool, that's the most comfortable handle out there. It's just
and I really think so. Of course, we're not objective there, but I don't think anybody else has really done anything quite like it.
Mm-hmm. No, and
we are also working on some additional positions using that Quicksilver as well, that are, we're going to be rolling out here again, MTE time. So we're excited about some of those positions.
See, this MTE is the one not to miss. I mean, look at everything that A1's bringing to the board. MTRX is throwing you out some new stuff.
If you watch my video, this is airing on Tuesday, but last week I put out a video with a whole bunch of new stuff. I've got a lot of new tools that I can't even talk about right now that are going to be showcased at MTE, and it's going to be a good show. And I hate that word game changer, and I don't use it. I don't think anything I have is a game changer, but there's definitely things that are going to make my job a lot easier that are coming out at MTE this year.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Now, is there any other things that you guys have in the works, or anything that you can?
I mean, if we haven't pried enough out of the two of you yet,
this is your opportunity to do a shameless plug or tease.
Yeah. Well, and so we've got so much new that we didn't have a year ago. All of the things that we're doing with Stanliner, those date back, I guess, a year plus ago. But all the stuff that we're doing with Anson now is new. We're going to be working, I didn't say before, but with TDN on this new handle, that's the ergonomic camel that
I was wondering if that was it.
Yeah. The Dent Reaper has been a super hot tool for us here over the past month or so that John Vidine developed. And, it's just one position. Then we added a ratchet handle to that. So there's going to be a few other positions there with that particular line of tools as well. That's been really well received, and John's been great to work with there. The Quarry Pope tools that we've made that have a BB type tip on the end, we may have a few new ones of those. We're going to have a few new Stanliner tools that will roll out for MT as well.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's actually a lot.
It is a lot. And so, we can't bring everything that we have. And so what we're really looking at doing is just bringing this new stuff.
Sure.
And maybe making it a little less of a selection, but everything that we have is new or different. And of course, the tried and true and old is still there, and it can be shipped at any point in time, but we're just not going to have it at the shows.
Yeah. I'm just so glad that you guys come to MTE now, 2 years now in a row, and this up and coming one. I know it's intimidating, and we've seen you there prior, but now you're there, and you guys got the presence now, so it's good.
Yeah. Looking at everything on your website, it's crazy. You guys have a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. MTE is a great show. And we've benefited from it. The industry has benefited from it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But just this discussion that we're having tonight, in part, it's brought about because we have this deadline of MTE or World Cup or whatever it is. These shows, these expos, and it'd be really easy to drag your feet on some of this stuff a little bit, but you've got this deadline that you've got to comply with. So it's helped us. It's helped motivate us.
Sure. Yeah. That's great.
Absolutely.
Well, we do want.
Let me ask you this: Are you going to be sharing a booth with Stanliner this year, or are you guys still going to have separate booths?
It's Stanliner, Daniel.
Stanliner. Sorry.
Hey, I didn't know either.
We're separate.
Yeah, we're separate.
Separate. Okay.
They came down. Kaz came down last year, both days, and did some demonstrations in our booth with some of the tools, which he drew a crowd when he did that. And then we sold a lot of tools right then too. So that was great that he did that. And so I'm hoping that we can convince him to do that again.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thomas says they are bringing it. They're going to make a full presence there. So
Good.
yeah.
Okay. Now, last year you guys had a double booth. Are you keeping the double booth, or are you going bigger this year?
We've got a bigger booth at World Cup. I think we've got 4 spaces there, but we're just the way that our booth works as an end cap, we're just keeping the 2 that we had. So it'd be a similar type of booth, but different tools.
Yeah. Cool. Well, the World Cup is in your backyard. It's a lot easier to take a larger selection when you don't have to haul it 800, 900 miles. So, hey, I want to give a quick shout out. Maria, you assisted Crystal Ellison. We've had her on the show quite a few times, up there with the young ladies.
Oh yeah.
Thing. So why don't you fill everybody in a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was just on Facebook one day, and of course, Crystal has a huge presence. I love all her live videos and everything. And she was just sharing that she had a workshop she was going to put on in her community to just kind of raise awareness for her own company, and also to, reach out to these young ladies who like to tinker. And she was going to put on a workshop, and I just thought, man, that is awesome. And then she was like, I just want to help empower girls because, the dent techs that are ladies are few and far between. And she really got a lot of great encouragement from Susan, the dent princess. And I think that really gave her, just some, she was just really inspired by her. And so she wanted to turn around and give back. And that's the thing about Krista that I love, is that she's always looking for ways to give back and to share what she has. And so I was just sharing this with John one morning. I think it was a Saturday morning. We were having coffee, and I just told him about it. And he was like, man, that is awesome, and we have 3 daughters, and, we just wanted to help her in some way. And so we just, we talked, and then I messaged her, and I just said, hey, we want to help you. We want to help you in any way. What can we do? And just kind of grew from there. We wanted to support her in whatever cost that she had associated with putting that on. And we just thought, we've got this app that, we're going to try to put together, and let's just kind of kick it off together and just make it let's just do this.
What was really cool about it too is she had a huge turnout for it. It looked like
huge.
It looked like
huge.
It was good.
Yeah, she could not turn people away. You know how she's
Sure.
just got such a big heart, and she had so many different people and moms that would come to her, and it just she would have story after story of some child that really wanted to come for whatever reason, or a group, an association that wanted to bring the girls over. And it's just great. And in fact, it's so wonderful. She's going to be having one for boys in the spring. So
nice.
I'm real excited. Yeah, absolutely. And
I bet you she'll have more girls than boys.
Probably.
So I don't know.
I am so encouraged by that, because I want to see more women get into this industry.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. My wife and I have worked together since we had our own body shop. So for well over 18 years, and my wife's always felt like a loner in it. And as we traveled for Hale, her and I have always worked together. She's taken all the cars apart, tracked down all the parts, and I tell you, there's been a few times where we were in the middle of downtown Austin, Texas, working in a body shop, and she wasn't expecting to have to go to work that day. So she was actually going to go downtown shopping. So she was wearing a dress and heels and was going to drop me off at the body shop. And we had this Grand Cherokee that had to get done that got dumped on us. So she runs over there and she rips the headliner, the lift gate, and the headlights out of this thing in a dress and heels in 49 minutes and walks downtown.
Wow.
And the body shop manager is just standing there going, what the heck just happened? And I said, well, next time your techs are over there whining and bitching about having to do a little bit of hard work, just let them know that my wife does it in a dress and heels.
I love it.
You should have got that on video, dude.
I wish I would have. I mean, it was great. So yeah, seeing Crystal do that. And I'd mentored a few girls back when we had the body shop. You know, it's like,
but you'd be surprised.
Nothing wrong with working with your hands.
No, not at all. You'd be surprised because I monitor the PDRTooltime.com Facebook group, and I monitor all the requests that come in. And there's quite a few women that do requests to come in that, you know, and I do a little research on who I let in and make sure that they're in the industry or wanting to be in the industry. And there's quite a few women that do come in and come knocking at the door.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I was glad to see you guys were a part of that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
So, well, let's just recap where you guys are going to be. December 6th through the 8th is a PDR World Cup International Competition and event show. I guess we could call it a convention. A-1 will be there in beautiful Branson, Missouri, not too far from where they are located. And then you guys are also going to be at MTE, of course. Are you guys going to be in the Vegas MTE? Have you guys made a decision on that?
We haven't made that determination yet. You know, honestly, we've got some concerns that you know, maybe we're splitting our audience. You know, we have twice the expense to go to two shows, and you know, people are going to go to one show or the other, and so it's a concern.
I made a phone call to him to get an interview because I want to get the answers to that exact question, is to find out why is he doing it and what's going on. He was involved in the SEMA show, and he says, contact me after the SEMA show. So I plan on interviewing him to find out what exactly is his, you know, game plan for the future.
Yeah, well, I would be interested in that conversation and some of those answers. I'm not for it or against it. I just, you know, it has to work for us.
Sure.
It has to work for the other exhibitors as well. And so I hope it's a good thing, but I've got concerns. I'll just leave it at that.
We're in the same boat, John. From Mobile Tech RX's standpoint, the only luxury that we have is we also provide the software for those other services. So if this Vegas show ends up being bigger for rim and paint touch-up, that's still part of our target audience. But that really nails you guys to the wall if you haul out 10,000 pounds worth of tools to Las Vegas, and then everybody's looking for a paint gun. It's
closer than Florida, isn't it?
No, Florida is about a 16-hour drive for us, and I think Vegas is about a 24. So
okay,
it's a little further. But yeah,
the problem with Vegas, I think, is that like when we were at SEMA, you have too many choices to stay, and I think it's going to spread a lot of the techs out. And the thing that makes that show is after the show, everybody in the same hotel getting together, and you know,
camaraderie.
Networking. Yeah, the networking is really a component that I think is.
But
really
Daniel, if you look at where that place is, it's off the beaten path. It's not downtown, and it's not near the strip at all. Yeah. So that might curb some of that traveling. The other thing that you might want to consider too, John and Maria, is that, and I don't know how much of your sales comes from the West Coast, but I know there's a lot of people on the west side of the Colorado Rockies that just don't come to Florida to MTE because it's just too far. It's tough for me to go. It's a 6-hour drive or flight, and it's 3 time zone difference. It's
right.
It's not fun.
Right. Right. And you know, I didn't say we weren't going. I just said,
of course.
You know, we have some of those concerns, and
the
unionization of the move in and that and the other is certainly a concern. And I think Vegas, it's going to be present. Yeah. And you know, we've said, hey, we're moving this stuff 1,200 miles. We can move it the last 200 yards just fine. But,
Right.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
I was talking to a
That
guy.
did catch us a little off guard as well.
Yeah. Did you guys get charged $75 a day at SEMA, John, to vacuum your booth?
No, because we split that booth at SEMA.
Okay, because they were charging people $75 to vacuum their booth, even though you didn't want it and didn't need it. You were getting it vacuumed, and it was $75.
We'll end up paying it next year, though. We'll have our own booth at SEMA, so we'll get stuck. I guess I'll leave the Roomba at home then.
Leave the Roomba at home.
And I'm not going to tell anybody how to run their business. I assume they know more about how to run their business than I know how to run their business. But I also have my own to run, and so like I said, it just has to work for us.
Yeah,
and I hope that it can, and we'll just wait and see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. As vendors, we have to weigh those expenses, and determine whether the first year is going to answer all the questions for it.
Sure,
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think that brings us to a good conclusion here. I want to thank you guys for coming on the show and spending some time with our audience.
No, thank you, and it's an honor, and thank you for what you do for the industry. It's really helped propel this forward. Thank you.
It's really our pleasure. We love it.
Definitely.
It's good. It's good for everyone. So
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So Daniel, what do you have to say?
Guys, you just have to do it. Level up those tools.
John?
And don't do stupid stuff.
And I still have to come up with something. Thanks for listening. This has been another episode of PDR Tool Time.